It's the start of high school football season. No better time of the year. Marquise Rodriguez electrifying us here at White Stadium.
Yeah, he just shook off the face mask and kept on trucking.
Flamingo finds the pylon for the touchdown. Second kickoff return for a touchdown this season for Kai Harris.
The most impressive part to me was he put that on the money.
What a throw, Charles! And he is in for a touchdown. What a ball game we had here at White Stadium. Hello, everybody. Welcome to O'Brien High School in Roxbury as we bring you Week 4 coverage of Boston Public High School football. As tonight, the O'Brien Tigers will be hosting the Boston English Blue Eagles. Hello, everybody. I'm Pat Flaherty, joined by my partner, as always, Alan Platt. Folks, if you haven't figured it out yet, it is pouring out here at O'Brien High School, but we're still bringing you coverage of this live football game. And Alan, we talk about these two teams, O'Brien and Boston English. They're both standing at 2-1 and the top two teams in the Boston South Division. So this is a big game for both these squads.
It really is. I mean, we're not even quite midway through the season, but yeah, like you said, 2-1, and ironically, both coaches are focusing more on their one loss than the two wins.
That's
because
right.
in English's case, they played a crazy game to start the season against East Boston, went into triple overtime.
That's right.
They lost the game. The head coach did something somewhat unusual. After the game, he apologized to the team.
Said it was his fault.
Okay, saying it was his fault for bad clock management in the fourth quarter when they had the ball, at the 27-yard line, chance to score with some timeouts.
Right.
So English, the players bounced back from that quite well. Have had two very impressive wins. Meanwhile, like you said, for O'Brien, same situation.
Right.
They lose an 8-point game to Brighton High, who we know can run the scores up.
Yeah, they can chuck it.
Kevin Gadsden still sort of kicking himself because his team had the ball twice in the red zone with chances to score and threw two interceptions.
Right. So certainly two games that they wish they had, and they thought that if they didn't make a couple of mistakes, they would have easily had wins. So these two teams chomping at the bit to pick up their third win of the season. First, we'll start off with the Boston English Blue Eagles. They're now on their fourth head coach in 5 years, but Ryan Conway coming over from the East Boston program. He's an English alum. He's done a nice job getting this team going with his program, and first it starts off when you have a good quarterback like Anari Lara.
Well, Lara's a very good athlete, good size, decent speed. As a matter of fact, the coaches would prefer if he would stop trying to be so tough. I mean, you see him right there.
Tell him to run out of bounds.
He runs the ball a lot, has 5 touchdowns on the ground. Today, with, like you said, all this wind and rain, it'll be a running game for both teams because you don't really want to mess around with this wind trying to throw the ball around. So Lara is going to be a key offensive weapon for English.
Without question, and certainly as a baseball player, we can throw the football too. He can thread the needle, put some zip on it. Coach Conway wants him to be able to put some touch on the football a little bit better. It's going to be tough tonight. But
talk about baseball. I mean, here he is, a quarterback for English, and he's already committed to play baseball at the collegiate level.
At Southern New Hampshire, that's right. So definitely a very good athlete overall, and Nari Lara having a very good start to the season for English. Meanwhile, on the other side, our spotlight player tonight is the quarterback for the O'Brien Tigers, Kobe Smith. We saw him a little bit last year.
Yeah, very exciting player. Kobe knows how to run. He really commands the huddle well, which is what Kevin Gadsden, the head coach for O'Brien, really likes the most. You can see some of his niftiness right there in terms of his speed, gets down to the sideline pretty well. Tough. He takes a lot of hits, but like you said, he can throw the football. And this year, Kevin Gadsden feels like because he has a bunch of seniors, he can go deeper and deeper into their playbook offensively. And Smith, he's the main guy. That you see is so far the early season, he has a passing touchdown, 2 running touchdowns, and he gets everything going for O'Brien.
Without question, second year starting at quarterback for the O'Brien Tigers. Always good to have that quarterback in your second season in high school football. Now, for more on this game and probably the weather conditions, we're going to go to our sideline reporter, Seth Orensky. Seth, what do you have for us?
Thanks, guys. Fall is officially here in Boston. Temperatures at 60 degrees and dropping. Wind picking up at times, and it's raining heavily here on this turf field. Both coaches, I got a chance to talk to them, and they think this game is going to influence them a little bit different with the weather. On the English side, they've been throwing the ball 50-50, according to head coach Ryan Conway. He said that they're going to have to pick their spots in this game and rely a little bit more on the run game. On the other side, Kevin Gadsden, this English team, they're still going to run the ball a lot, but in practice they were running a lot of quarterback options where that pass off to the running back or the wide receiver from the quarterback was being bobbled. It might even affect Gadsden's side as well, looking to do a more traditional handoff. Both coaches said it's going to dictate how this game is going to go along, especially later on. Guys?
Thanks very much, Seth. And whenever we see the O'Brien Tigers, there's a lot of wing tee exchanging, handoffs, end-arounds. You might not do that as much with these
the
weather conditions.
Yeah, the ball's going to be wet, and so you want to keep it as simple as possible. But one advantage for both teams, actually, they both have a bunch of healthy running backs.
Right.
And I think that's why with these conditions, it's going to be tough to throw the ball. So it shouldn't be a problem because they can win running the ball,
right,
each of them. So it's just a matter of who actually gets better play in the offensive line.
That's right.
And if an offensive line can create some openings for both the quarterbacks and the running backs, then it could be a pretty even game.
Right. We always know that the battle in the trenches is often what wins football games, both in high school, college, and in the pros. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have the opening kickoff from O'Brien High School in Roxbury right after these words. Don't go away.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Okay, Simon, what do people wear?
Clothes.
That's right. So it's important to learn how to dress yourself. Here's how it's done. Shirt, underwear, pants, socks, shoes. Underwear, always first, name tag on the back. Then pants and shirt. Go ahead and put this on. Now with the shirt, you want to make sure the first button's right or you have to start all over again, okay? Socks left on left, right on right. Tying the shoes, we're going to take the laces, we're going to cross them over, we're going to turn around where the bunny goes down in the hole, pull it tight, and bunny ears. Got it?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Got a quarter?
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
It only takes a moment to make a moment.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness. I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
Folks, welcome back to a very wet and rainy O'Brien High School in Roxbury for our Week 4 coverage of Boston Public High School football. The Boston English Blue Eagles taking on the O'Brien Tigers. Boston English in the white uniforms with the light blue and royal blue trim. Make that navy blue. Meanwhile, the O'Brien Tigers on the other side in the black and royal blue trim. And we're just about set to go.
Right? One team went all white, the other team went all black.
That's right.
So they had us in mind, I guess. So
yeah, it's
sometimes in the rain we have a tough time with the numbers.
Oh, that's right.
Not tonight.
Or in BNBL when they have orange and light red shirts. We're underway here at O'Brien. English kicking off, squib kick, and it looks like O'Brien was able to recover the football. Of course, handling the football both on kickoffs and punts is going to be something to look out for.
I'd say that was the first indication of the wet football. Is the first player wasn't able to corral it, but gives O'Brien great field position right near midfield to start the game. Yeah, Kobe Smith, number 1, gets some good size, 6'2", long, rangy.
There are your starters for the O'Brien Tigers. Colby Smith at quarterback, Uche Ibokwe at the running back, Lambright also in the backfield, Emmanuel Exelholm, one of the best players in the city right now. He's got 5 rushing touchdowns and a receiving touchdown, and Alexander also at the wide receiver spot.
Coming out with that wide formation, Pat, like you talked about in the open. 3 receivers here to the left side.
Exelholm actually lined up in the backfield to hand it off to Manny Exelholm on first down. Makes a nice cut. Here goes Exelholm. He could take it the distance on the first play of the game. Manny Exelholm to the end zone. We got a flag back at the 30.
Yeah, he's going to come back. There was a block on the back around the 30-yard line. But like you said, Pat, right on time, right? Because he wanted to prove you right, because the play was supposed to come to the left, but he saw an opening back to the right, cut back up, had a block on the back that's going to take it back. But it just shows you the explosiveness. See, the play supposed to come to the left, but he saw the opening, cut back to the right side. Right here, it's all speed. That was actually the block on the back right there. It's too bad because he didn't even need the block. He'd already cut past the safety. Didn't even need the block.
I was going to say they don't even need the.
Right, that's the tough
Didn't even
block.
need the block in the back.
But he'll be marked off from the 28-yard line. That'll go back. It'll still be in English territory, though. It's gonna
block from behind, 84. Go ahead and move the chains, guys. Go ahead and move the chain.
So O'Brien will still get the first down.
And the block did happen after he gained the 10 yards for the first down. So they've marked the football down at the English 40-yard line.
I say that, and
make that the 42-yard line.
What I mentioned before, the snap with those 3 receivers. With those 3 receivers, that really spread English's defense out along the line of scrimmage.
So first down now from the 38-yard line of Boston English. O'Brien again handed it off up the middle. This time it's to Ibokwe, and Uche makes his way up to the 31.
Well, we talked about offensive lines, Pat. These first 2 plays have been indications of O'Brien's offensive line really getting off the mark. You see Ibokwe running over one of the linebackers for English.
Yeah, that was Edner St. Fleur that he spun off of. Edner, one of the better linebackers for the English Blue Eagles. So 7-yard pickup on first down for Uche Ibokwe. Second down and 3 now for the O'Brien Tigers. Hand it off over the left side. This time it's Exelholm trying to look for space, but he is wrapped up.
Good job.
After a 1-yard gain, St. Fleur there for the tackle.
Yeah, St. Fleur really made up for that last play. And actually, one of English's strengths defensively is their speed on the outside. They see a good job by St. Fleur able to keep that to a short gain.
Kobe Smith, second season starting at quarterback for the O'Brien Tigers. He actually got hurt late last year. I believe he either broke his clavicle or had a fractured clavicle. He actually had to have surgery up there and almost missed a big part of the basketball season, but was able to get back in December to play hoops for the Tigers basketball team. Now on third down, the handoff to Exelholm. Makes his way past the 25 up to the 21-yard line.
Good surge. And again, because of I think mainly because of the weather, but I would suspect that Kevin Gatson, the head coach for O'Brien, wanted to come out running the ball anyway, just to give his offensive line a chance to really tee off against English's front.
You see Kevin Gatson.
9 years, yeah.
Ninth season as the head coach of O'Brien. Man, how time flies. Kevin's been there 9 years. Done a really nice job with this O'Brien program. They're always in the thick of it here in the City League. Now on first down, the Tigers hand off again to Obokwe, but he got tripped up in the backfield.
They actually got
might have lost a yard.
One of his own blockers actually was in his way, and he was trying to navigate by and lost his footing. A lot of running. I mean, this game may just fly by because I don't anticipate if the wind stays. Not even the rain so much. Just the wind and the rain as a combination makes it tough.
Yeah, if you had one or the other, it wouldn't be so bad. But the combination of both.
They're talking Mother Nature about this. I mean, we'll take the rain.
Yeah.
At least keep the wind, all right?
Yeah.
Save the wind for another day.
They're giving us a 1-2 combo that's really tough to defend.
Yeah, save the wind for Halloween or something.
Second down and 10 now for the Tigers. The handoff again to Exelholm.
Oh, that's St. Fleur again? Wow, he read
He's
that
flying
perfectly.
all over the field.
He read that one perfectly. In the middle of the defense and was able to peek in the backfield to see the handoff. Watch number 7, left to your screen. There you go, one-on-one. Good job. Because usually Exelholm's pretty tough to bring down one-on-one. Going to be third and about 10.
So the Tigers, after picking up a couple of first downs, now face a 3rd and long from the English 21-yard line. The handoff to Exelholm again, breaks through one tackle. What a cut by Exelholm. Emmanuel Exelholm inside the 5, down to the 1. He fumbled the football, but they're going to say he was down before the ball came out.
Like we said, get another flag. So we got a block. It's a holding on O'Brien. Yeah, holding. Right at the point of attack, too, because Exelholm had broken the line of scrimmage. Boy, 2 devastating penalties on O'Brien. Yeah, the hold is right in the middle of the screen. And Exelholm, meanwhile, has gone downfield, got inside the 5, but again, a big run is going to be nullified by penalty.
So that'll back up the O'Brien Tigers to the English 31-yard line.
Like there's a couple of things going on, Pat. It's almost like O'Brien coaches got to feel good about the movement they're getting up front and these runs, especially that first run from scrimmage, which very easily could have been a touchdown, but called back for a penalty. Then this one on a 3rd and long, they're able to actually get plenty of yardage for an apparent first down, but had that called back. So now, it's English has got to get a little sturdier. I mean, St. Fleur has been the guy making plays in terms of one-on-one tackles, but overall, English defense is sort of got to get themselves straightened up.
So the Tigers take a timeout here midway through the first quarter. The scoreboard is not being used here at O'Brien High School, so the refs will be keeping time down on the field. We're not going to be able to tell you really how much time is left at certain points in the game, but we'll be able to sort of see if we can find out late in the game or late in the half.
They're going to report to the each sideline periodically, so hopefully we can hear them when they give those numbers.
Both these teams coming in today at 2-1. Both also 2-0 in the Boston South, so whoever loses today will have their first loss in their conference. And that'll certainly put you behind the 8 ball.
Like you mentioned, it's a big, I mean, for early in the season, it's unusual to have such an important game this early, but the way things are shaping up so far, you're right, these two may be fighting all year for the top spot.
3rd down and 18 now for the O'Brien Tigers. Smith.
First pass.
After the fake, rolling to his right, going to tuck it in and run now. Down the sideline, he gets shoved out of bounds right around the 23.
Is that St. Fleur again? Wow, we talked about Smith being able to run. Got that loping stride of his. Look downfield because of his experience. Good coverage by English this time, and nothing there. Once he decides to run, get as much as he can before he's pushed out of bounds.
Kobe going with 2 gloves tonight to try to get a better grip on the football. Got a couple of brave fans there enduring the elements. Hopefully it doesn't get too windy so those umbrellas don't fold up.
Well, I'd say the weird thing about it, the day wasn't that bad.
It really wasn't.
It was threatening to rain all day, but then tonight,
all of a sudden. It's the O'Brien Tigers going to be faced with a 4th down and 11 from the English 21-yard line.
Let's see, the officials are, maybe they're giving the time now.
They were trying to switch out footballs too.
Right. Okay.
A lot of times teams will get an injured player or maybe a freshman to kind of hold a couple of footballs underneath some towels.
Exactly, right. One of the managers, especially now in a passing situation, you got a 4th and 11.
4th down and 11 now for the O'Brien Tigers. From the English 21-yard line. Smith this time rolling to his left, looking down the left side of the end zone for Exelholm, but the ball falls incomplete. It looks like Manny got turned around there.
Well, I think the ball, there was so much air under the ball. I do think it was the wind played with it and took it closer to the sideline. Exelholm actually had the defender beaten, but again, the weather was not, it kept Smith from having the more accurate pass. But impressive, I'd say, impressive starting drive. See, Smith, like you said, the 2 gloves pad, and actually did that off balance, but got enough strength. See, the ball, it just sort of floated, sailed on him a little bit. So English had the ball first time on offense.
I'm surprised Smith got that much zip on it, trying to grip the football.
He's good, strong arm. Yeah, he's
good-sized kid, probably has big hands, but like we mentioned before, basketball player, very athletic. So English takes over at their own 21-yard line. Make that the 22. And here are the starters for English. We talked about Anari Lara. Then there's Edner St. Fleur, who's making all those plays out of the backfield. Harris, and then Warwood and Kelly on the outsides. 2 big receivers.
Especially Kelly.
For the English Blue Eagles. On Kelly. First down, the handoff up the middle.
Wow.
And I couldn't tell.
Looks like Warwood, I believe.
I think it was Warwood. Make that Devin Harris,
okay.
With the carry on first down for the Blue Eagles. Makes his way up to the 28-yard line.
Simple handoff, like I tell you, this slick ball is going to make it sort of going to dumb down the offense in this close handoffs. Don't think we're going to see a lot of pitches. And I think for English at least, I think we're going to see Lara keep the ball alive. They'll stay in the shotgun formation.
2nd down and 3 now for the Blue Eagles. The handoff again to Harris. This time, O'Brien is there getting penetration in the backfield.
They're waiting for him.
Coming up with the tackle was big number 55, Jardel Fernandez.
See, sometimes that's a quarterback option where he can put it in the running back's stomach and he can pull it back out if he sees the defense responding. But that time, it was a simple handoff all the way.
Looks like they gave English whatever forward progress they had, so it'll be 2nd down and 7 now for the Blue Eagles. Here comes Lara making a move, and Nari fighting his way forward. I think he got the first down. He's right on the sticks.
I tell you, we talked about him in the open, and got decent size also, 6 feet, about 175 pounds. Used all that strength this time. It looks like he's hemmed up right here. Look at that, another 5 yards after he got initially hit. And he did get the first down.
Yeah, he's
that
up to
last lean. Yeah,
he's up to the English 20, or make that the 33-yard line. So English on first down. Last year, Lara started at wide receiver. Was a good wide receiver for Boston English, as Stanley Vargas was the starting quarterback last year. Anari now taking the reins this season. And on first down, the handoff. Again, it's Harris making a nice cut.
Nice
Devin
cut.
Harris,
Wow.
Up to the 45.
Yeah, we both saw the same thing. That was a beautiful cut. And, on this, with these conditions, you think it's slippery, but he probably has one of those turf cleats on. We'll see this cut we're talking about right here. Boom. Put that foot in there and give yourself an extra 8 yards.
Harris just a junior for this English football team.
English has definitely settled down after dodging the bullet twice.
Then they have a low snap, and Lara's just got a fall on it. I think it was actually Harris who might have jumped on the football.
Yeah, that's the danger with all the wet football. Sometimes the balls just don't come up, and that one just didn't. It's more of a line drive right at Lara's ankles.
So it looked like a 3-yard loss on that play. English now with the football at the 42-yard line.
No score early here, but no surprise with these weather conditions.
2nd down and 13 for the Blue Eagles. Lara looking to escape pressure, and he's wrapped up in the backfield by the Tigers.
Yeah, his receivers didn't help him that time. He was looking to his left. The only receiver on that side went deep downfield, and by the time Lara tried to see, there's no one out in the flat. I think that was just a little bit of a missed assignment there, because he looked like he wanted to throw the ball in the flat, and his receiver was streaking downfield.
We don't have a 2 on the roster, so we're not sure who made that tackle, but once again, English getting in the backfield.
They're up there switching uniforms again.
Maybe they put on the dry fit jerseys.
Right. They might have something different going on.
3rd down and 23 now for the English Blue Eagles. Man in motion, they hand off on the end around. And getting the carry is Ray Williams, but he has nowhere to go, as I think English is going to have to punt the football.
Yeah, good defense by the Tigers of O'Brien. They were able to, the sack, obviously the biggest play. There's Williams. This is one of their staple plays. They like to bring wide receivers across the formation, give them a running start, but O'Brien, well scouted, waiting for it.
So Boston English will punt it here from the 35-yard line. Back to kick is Shaq Warwood. Exelholm back to receive for the O'Brien Tigers.
Watch the snap. They actually got a good one.
Warwood with a nice end-over-end kick. That's going to roll right around the 40 and bounce right around the 39. Now English unable to corral it until it got to the 42. So good field position for the O'Brien Tigers after a big defensive stand against Boston English.
Really nice punt. I mean, considering the wind especially and the rain.
Folks, if you want to check out a lot of different videos and updates we got on Game of the Week, you can certainly check us out on Facebook. Make sure you search Game of the Week. We got a lot of good videos, pictures, updates, a lot of different stuff up there. You can also follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. And if you want to tweet at us, make sure you use the hashtag BostonGOW. So the O'Brien Tigers with the football on their own 43-yard line. This second possession of the ball game, first time around, had a couple of big plays, but both were called back because of holding penalties. Smith again back to throw, going down the left side of the field this time for Exelholm, but Kobe unable to get any type of grip on that football.
Yeah, that totally slipped because it actually sailed right out of bounds. They had a fly pattern for Exelholm. Like you said, he has good speed. You see him number 1. He's a good inside runner, but also, as we saw on the very first play from scrimmage, he took it all the way, and of course was called back because of the penalty. But he's like their main weapon in terms of Kobe Smith looking downfield. Kevin Gatson was yelling for a holding penalty, but the ball had already sailed far out of bounds, uncatchable. Trying to catch English off guard with those passing plays.
Tigers now in a spread formation with twins to both the left and the right. Smith again rolling to his left now, going over the right side, looking for the receiver screen.
Yeah. They had a screen pass set up. Incomplete pass. It did go forward. It was close to being a lateral pass, but good job. That was Kelly sort of breaking that up for English, the big defensive end, who's also the tight end on offense. Number 3. He usually is a big part of their offense, but tonight
it's going to be tough.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to pass the ball that much, so he may not be as effective. That's going to be the end of the first quarter because they're moving the football to the opposite side.
So that'll do it for the first quarter here at O'Brien High School in Roxbury. It's a wet one, and we got no score. But we will be right back with the second quarter here on Game of the Week. Folks, do not go away.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? You know you do. That's why we're here. We're free and here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Picking a college, man. You and us go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos. Go to GetSchool.com.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back to a very wet and rainy O'Brien High School in Roxbury, as the O'Brien Tigers and Boston English Blue Eagles are scoreless through one. We're just about ready to start the second quarter here on Game of the Week. O'Brien with the football. 3rd down and 10 now from their own 43-yard line. Kobe Smith going to run the sweep here to Exelholm. Emmanuel breaks out of one tackle, but not a second. We got a flag on the play as St. Fleur again making the stop.
Yeah. St. Fleur's out. He's, like you say, he's everywhere. There's a block on the back also. I think they may want to decline this because it's going to be. Well, they're going to take it, okay? Because I was just thinking it was going to force a 4th down, but with that penalty, it's going to make it a 3rd and about 20. So that makes sense. Just in the replay again, St. Fleur everywhere.
Sometimes you'll see high school coaches, too, go for it if they're anywhere near midfield. So that
true.
might have been
Right. Yeah.
2-down territory for English, for
exactly.
O'Brien.
That's a good point because English has already been burned by 2 big runs.
3rd down once again for the O'Brien Tigers. 3rd down and 20 as Smith rolling to his right, looking for receiver Obukwe, but the ball falls incomplete. Really having a tough time throwing the football.
Yeah, as long as this wind stays up, it's going to be tough for both sides to throw the football. So 4th down, another punting situation. Going back for English, Devin Harris.
Sure, you can hear it through our microphones. The wind's really picking up here at O'Brien High. You see the rain going sideways. They roll the snap back to the punter, but they get off actually a decent kick.
Nice
that goes
roll.
off the side of the foot. Exelholm there to down it at the 35, so that's where English will take over for their second possession.
Well, both teams have had some success running the football. I mean, a lot more from O'Brien's side. But English now may, like you said, with the rain, looks like it's letting up a little bit, but the wind is still the major issue. Haven't seen English really look to throw the football yet, but Lara is very capable.
So Henry Lara and the Blue Eagles take over at the 35-yard line. On 1st down, they hand it off again. That looks like Harris making a couple nice cuts. And the junior makes his way up to the 44, just short of a 1st down.
You're right, Pat. It looked like there wasn't much going on there, and all of a sudden, Harris had seen a little congestion right here. Able to make a cut there and turned it into a nice, 8-yard gain? 9-yard gain.
Like you said, Alan, both these teams are going to use their whole corral of running backs.
It's an ideal day for it.
Second down and 1 now for the Blue Eagles. Lara rolling to his right, trying to escape pressure. Ball was almost intercepted. Good job deflecting the football there for Rodney George, as Boston English was looking for Raymonte Williams on the outside.
Raymonte Williams there's two of them actually. There's a Ray Williams and a Raymonte Williams. So that time it was Raymonte. Now we're facing a third down and 1. One of the safest plays on this one, even though they come from the shotgun formation, would be to have Lara just keep the ball. He's a very good runner. Has Harris in the backfield with him.
The handoff to Harris on third down.
That's going to be close.
And he might have gotten,
surge.
He might have fallen forward, yeah.
I was going to say, a nice little surge at the end there because he was definitely stood up behind the 40-yard line. Let's see where they mark it. It is going to be a first down. Jay Harris has been impressive for English. So first down for English. Keep the drive going.
So Boston English does get the first down now with the football at the 45-yard line. Handoff to Harris. No, excuse me, that's St. Fleur. And St. Fleur gets wrapped up right around the. Oh, he escapes the tackle. Edner.
Not quite wrapped up yet. Yeah,
fighting for every yard he can, makes his way up to the 49.
He's like all energy, Pat. I mean, you mentioned the tackles now. He's going to limp off. Too bad for English. I hope he's all right. He's, like you said, he never gave up on this play. Got hit hard. That might be where he might have rolled his ankle a little bit, but. Oh. All energy. You might have to get retaped or something because he did go off. You see him laying down.
The Boston English Blue Eagles take a timeout here in the middle of the second quarter. And hopefully St. Fleur.
Oh, he got it. Right, I was going to say. He's
going to be all right.
And we talked about in the open. The fact of the matter is that they're pretty even teams. They both have good running games. They both have good passing games, even though the weather's probably going to nullify the passing, but if they're forced to just rely on the running games, it can be a very even game. Like we said, with St. Fleur is one of the main weapons, so you got to hope he's going to be okay.
You see the O'Brien cheerleaders dressed in rain gear, braving the elements. Yeah, it is unfortunate. We have two good quarterbacks who can both run and throw the ball. It's too bad we can't see the dual
and some
threat
nice receivers
for
too.
Both of them.
Absolutely. Oh,
absolutely.
Got some good receivers on both sides.
And you talk about Exelholm, who can kind of do basically everything.
Right.
Gadsden calls him the slash player for O'Brien. Then on the other side, we mentioned the two big receivers on the outside for Boston English. Probably not going to see a lot of them tonight.
Kelly's like almost 240 pounds.
Yeah, he's basically a tight end.
Huge.
Our sideline reporter, Seth Orensky, has an update for us. Seth, what's happening?
Guys, English forced to call a timeout there because both of their top two running backs a little bit banged up. Some previous injuries. Edner St. Fleur's got a right thumb injury. He went out the previous play, and then a big play by their running back in the previous play that led to another recurring play on the thumb. Guys?
Wow.
Thanks very much, Seth.
So, Harris
see
is back
if those guys can get back in there.
Yeah,
I think St. Fleur is at the bottom of your screen, lined up at receiver. No, that's 27. Excuse me. We'll see what happens with those injuries. They get it out to the outside.
Nice,
and a good pickup there for Raymonte Williams.
That was run pretty well.
English has a Ray Williams and a Raymonte Williams.
Right.
So we got to make sure we clarify. Raymonte 22, Ray Williams number 4. You see Kobe Smith, man in the safety spot. Also a very good safety for O'Brien. So the first completion of the game comes on a screen pass that gets English up to the 34-yard line. Third and a long one for the Blue Eagles.
Still waiting for that fake handoff by Lara and the keeper.
You can actually see St. Fleur in the background there getting taped up by the trainer.
Here's Lara.
Here's Lara on first down with a big pickup and more. Anari Lara towards the outside, well into O'Brien territory. They mark him down at the 27.
Big run by Lara. Similar to what we saw O'Brien do in the first quarter. No penalty on the play by English. Lara just straight handoff. And you mentioned before he was a wide receiver last year, so he's used to having the ball out in space. Knows how to shed tackles and has really good size.
So Anuri Lara makes his way down to the 27s. Another first down for Boston English. Now well into O'Brien territory. Lara again off the fake. This time going to be wrapped up in the backfield.
Yeah, it was actually a fake pass, and he was supposed to keep that, but excellent penetration that time for O'Brien, as they had the entire right side of their defense come across.
Yeah, you saw Jardel Fernandez and Ryan Collegian come up with the tackle in the backfield.
Big loss, too, about a 6-yard loss.
So they mark English down at the 34-yard line. Now on second down, it's Lara again on the keeper. And again, he has nowhere to go.
Yeah, that was the same play. They got the big gain on the for the first down. But like you said, that time O'Brien was waiting for it. Coming up from the defensive backfield for O'Brien. That's the number 2 that we haven't been able to identify yet. But a host of his teammates with him also. Jardel Fernandez. Along with Ryan Collegian. So 3rd and long.
I know. I'm trying to remember your name, man. It's a long time.
Talked about Kevin Gatson, 9 years, but his defensive coordinator, Mike Branch, has also been around for a long time. So it's been a good working combination.
Now on 3rd and 16, and the ball falls incomplete for Lara.
It's too bad, because Lara actually had a outside screen stop. That was Ray Williams, and couldn't quite haul it in. So we'll see if English wants to try to punt and pin O'Brien deep. See, little screen pass there, and yeah, Williams wasn't quite ready for it. Yeah, English is going to try to get a punt and get some decent coverage to try to pin O'Brien deep back in their own territory.
English back to kick. Warwood, the high spiraling kick.
Want to keep it.
Excellent punt there from Warwood. They got to keep it out of the end zone. They do. They down it at the 1.
They turned their heads. It almost snuck into the end zone, but good coverage. That's exactly what English wanted to do. Excellent coverage.
Ramonte Williams downs the football at the 1.
Yeah, he was down there with a couple of teammates, and that's exactly, you put it up in the air, let the wind play with it. Then as soon as it bounces, make sure you cover it before it gets into the end zone. So O'Brien's really got to be careful with the ball handling now. They're down inside their own 5-yard line.
You wonder if a play like that with this type of weather conditions, we're probably not going to see a ton of scoring. This could be one of the biggest plays of the game.
No doubt about that. This whole series could be big, because that 36-yard punch is sort of what the coaches call flip the field for English, because now defensively, if they can force a 3 and out, and force a punt, they should have very good field position. So full house backfield for Smith.
Now on first down from the 1-yard line. O'Brien handing it off to Exelholm. He bounces it to the outside and picks up 3.
Again, see, the strength of English, and we talked about it a little earlier, they have good speed getting outside. See, you had Kelly, the defensive end number 3, forced to play back inside, and then Ramonte Williams able to make the tackle. Good to see that St. Fleur's back.
So they marked Exelholm down at the 5, so it was a 4-yard pickup on first down for Manny Exelholm.
Like we said, no clock, so it's depending on the officials to alert the sidelines and alert us.
Second down and 7 now for the Tigers. The handoff to Exelholm on the sweep.
He's a workhorse.
Manny with some room, and he makes his way past the 10.
Good running. You got to like his running style, Pat, because he's under control. He can turn on the jets when he has to, but this is what I mean by control. So he waits, then turns on the jets to get outside, sees the marker, makes that last dive to get the first down.
For more of a fast, explosive sort of receiver / running back, he runs downhill very well.
He does, really. He's like I said, watching him, it's almost deceiving. But he's very effective because he does have the speed to get outside. We saw him on 2 fly patterns when he was put a wide receiver. So you say, what they call him flash? Is it?
Slash.
Flash. Yeah.
Slash.
You can see why.
Does a little bit of everything for this squad. So O'Brien now from their own 13-yard line, a little more breathing room for the offense. The handoff on first down to Exelholm again. Here comes Manny down the sideline. Exelholm with another nice cut. Deep inside English territory, he's finally rocked out of bounds at the 27.
And so the first big play by O'Brien with no penalty flags. But we're just talking about him, and this is a perfect example of everything we mentioned in terms of his skills. It's a simple handoff. Watch him pop outside. Speed right there. Now, I don't know how these safeties missed him on that right there, but somehow he was able to scoot by him. Finally, corralled by Anthony Baez after a 60-yard carry for Exelholm. And that's another example of flipping the field. Now it's in O'Brien's favor.
So the Tigers now well into English territory. Here late in the second quarter. We don't know how much time's left, but
you're right. It's got to be late because it's been all running. That might be the 2-minute warning there. No, timeout by O'Brien. Yeah,
probably getting close to a couple of minutes left.
I think O'Brien didn't like the sideline didn't like the formation, so they called a timeout to make sure all the players are on the right page.
You see Coach Conway in the safari hat over. And Coach Tom Lamb also in the safari hat.
You know, it's funny, too, because one of the you mentioned that Conway, the new head coach, is an alum of English. So that, he coached out. That was one of the things that made him come over because he spent, 14, 15 years in East Boston as an assistant. But another factor was that Tom Lamb, who's been a volunteer, offensive coordinator for a number of years, Lamb said he would stay. So I think that having Lamb still there to take care of the offense, the move to take the head coaching job was a much easier decision.
It's certainly nice when you have a legendary high school football coach from the area. Tom Lamb won a couple of Super Bowls with Natick and won a Super Bowl with Norwood and coached a lot of good players, including a couple of the Fluties. He also coached several players from Norwood who went on to play Division I college football. Like you said, on the other side, O'Brien with Coach Gadsden there for 9 years. Coach Mike Branch, the defensive coordinator, for, I believe, just about the same amount of time. So both those guys have a lot of experience
been a good combination,
you're right. Both teams with a good combo at the coaching positions. When you have stability at the coaching position, you can kind of build a program like O'Brien has. So coming out of the timeout, you see Mike Branch right there. Talking to the official. O'Brien with the football. 1st and 10 for the Tigers from the 27-yard line. Now it's Smith. He's going to take it himself over the right side. Nowhere to go with Colby Smith.
Safe play by O'Brien.
It looked like Warwood, the linebacker, coming in for the tackle.
I really think that timeout probably helped English, too, because they had a chance to catch their breath, and coaches had a chance to tell them exactly how they want the defensive sets to play, because clearly Exelholm, number 1, is the main guy. But you still got Colby Smith, who's capable of running. You got a speedster back. You haven't seen the ball yet. Lambright number 6, small but very speedy. He hasn't had a touch yet, but at some point he will.
Smith, and they run the reverse to Exelholm. Manny Exelholm inside the 25 down to close to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, wherever Exelholm is, Inglis has got to have probably a spy player on him. That's the reverse. He had everything coming to the right. Exelholm comes back to the left. That time you saw an example of his power is when the contact came, he lowered his shoulder and finished off that run.
That number 2 for O'Brien might be Jameer Woods. We'll have to get confirmation down on the field. Jameer is just a sophomore, but a contributing player here for the Tigers.
3rd and 3.
Smith again rolling to his right, going to take it himself. Looks like he got the first down. Couldn't quite see where he went out of bounds.
It looks like he had it measured. He knew where he had to get to. Fake the pass. This is a keep all the way. Tucks it in, gets to the side before St. Fleur was able to force him out of bounds. But like you said, Pat, good controlled running for the first down. Okay, now we get 3 receivers wide. Exelholm in the backfield, trying to spread English out.
Tigers now at the English 15-yard line on first down. The handoff to Exelholm. Makes a couple of cuts, but is bottled up at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard.
Yeah, you can tell that at that time the linebackers came right across in good shape, just waiting for number 1. Another timeout to play. Yeah, we've got to be getting really close to halftime, Pat. We're seeing O'Brien use these timeouts. Yeah,
Manny Exelholm now with 103 yards on the ground on just 10 rushes, so he's averaging 10 yards a clip. Certainly helps when you have that 60-yard run early in the quarter. Now on second down, it's Smith rolling to his left. Going to make a nice cut upfield. Kobe Smith making moves inside the 10, down inside the 5, close to the 2-yard line.
That's the running ability I talked about. Both quarterbacks of each of these teams have the ability to make big plays on their own with their legs. Good cut. Had 2 hands on the ball. Now he's really tricky runner for Smith. They might just keep it real safe and let Smith finish this off. Now that the rain is starting to come down heavy again, may not even want to chance any kind of handoff.
When you got Kobe Smith, who's got good size on him, 6'2",
and
certainly
good instincts
a good runner.
also, very good instincts, and you want to get the first score of the game right before halftime. You see the English defense trying to get themselves squared away.
Coach Conway knows if they can make a stop here and somehow prevent O'Brien from scoring, that would be huge for English because they get the ball to start the third quarter. As the rain continues to come down and the winds really picked up again.
I was thinking, okay, with the rain and the winds, but on a dry day, this probably would have been a pretty high-scoring first half.
Without question. Because these two quarterbacks, they'd be going back and forth. Exelholm would be running all over the place.
It just told you just don't know what's going to happen any Friday evening.
Well, while we have the time, folks, I certainly want to thank our crew for braving the elements here today. We got Rich Rosenthal down on the field getting soaked. We got Jim Dowdy, Carlisle, Pan and Shavarsh, Morrissey, man and cameras, along with Cullen Cockrell. The camera folks are the ones that always get drenched during these type of games. So thank you very much, guys, for all that you do. Also have Grips down on the field, Andrew Bergeron and Ken Bergeron, making sure nobody's tripping over those cables down there. Excuse me, Alex Bergeron down there gripping. So here we go. The handoff to Exelholm up the middle. Did he get in?
Touchdown.
Yes, he did. Emmanuel Exelholm with another touchdown. That's his 6th on the season. 6th rushing touchdown to go along with 1 receiving, and you can see the explosiveness again, even on the short run.
And good block up front for O'Brien is very well set up. You want to keep it simple, but coming out of the backfield, Bokway with the lead blocker for Exelholm.
So monster drive there for the Tigers. 9 plays, 99 yards. And now they're looking to tack on the 2-point conversion, which has been a very important play the last couple of weeks from what we've seen. Now it's Smith, going to take it himself into the end zone. Kobe Smith gets the 2-pointer for the Tigers, as they are now on top 8-0.
This shows you
late in the second quarter.
How things will flip on you, Pat. I mean, we thought English, you see the replay for Smith first. Good cut inside, used that length of his to sneak in the end zone. We thought the English had done perfectly by downing the punt like close to the 1-yard line, but instead O'Brien turns it into a 99-yard touchdown drive and then tacks on the 2-point conversion. Mostly Exelholm, and of course a big play, that 60-yard jaunt that he had to get them out of their own territory deep into English territory.
So the Tigers with a 99-yard drive. They cap it off with the Exelholm rushing touchdown and a 2-point conversion by Kobe Smith here late in the second quarter to take an 8-0 lead. So the Tigers with a straight-ahead kick down the middle of the field. That thing took off, and that's going to be a touchback.
Yeah, the wind caught that one. Well, I mean, it's got to be close to halftime. So you don't know if English just wants to play it safe or, and like you said, they're going to get the ball to start the second half anyway. So start at their own 25. You just don't know what they may want to do. I think normally, like we were just talking about, in different conditions, I'm sure we'd see Lara put the ball in the air.
That's right.
But now, deep in your own territory, it probably isn't worth the risk.
You talk about having those 2 big receivers, too. Just send them down the field, throw it up to them.
I was really looking forward to seeing the big tight end, Corey Kelly. Yeah, I was really looking forward to seeing him because it's interesting. They actually split him out when they're in their regular pass offense. He's not only a tight end. Sometimes they'll actually split him out against a small type cornerback.
That's right.
Just go up and throw the ball up and let him go get it.
Looks like they're attending to a player down on the field for the O'Brien. Can't quite see him on the right side of your screen there. Now we get the shot of Tim Lambright. Just a sophomore, the running back.
That's what I was telling you about. He's one of those speedy guys for O'Brien. He's holding on to his left hamstring, so it might have got a cramp or a mild pull muscle.
I guess Lambright actually slipped as he was making his way down the field, not really involved in the play. Of course, with the touchback, a lot of times those guys on the kickoff team kind of pull up, and you can pull a hammy that way.
Well, let's see what English decides to do. Got a little time before halftime.
So Lara out of the shotgun. He does hand it off. Big pickup here on first down by Devin Harris, but he is rocked at the 35 by Kobe Smith.
Kobe Smith, yeah. Smith came up from the safety spot and really
Harris
unloaded.
Is down.
See, I think Harris was looking to cut back to the left. See, Harris gets a very nice run here, but watch the, yeah, got hit him popping right in the side there. So, yeah, they might have looked like it might have actually knocked the wind out of him.
Yeah, sometimes that could be a rib injury with the way he got hit.
Yeah, see, look, it appeared like he was trying to cut back to the outside and didn't even see or didn't feel Smith coming from his right.
While they attend to Harris down on the field, folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have probably just one or two more plays here in the second quarter before halftime here on Game of the Week. Make sure you stick around.
We taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
Welcome back to O'Brien High School. The Tigers lead the English Blue Eagles 8-0. Seth Orensky, our sideline reporter, down on the field. Seth, what do you got for us?
Guys, Devin Harris, who was already suffering from that thumb injury, back down on the turf. Looks like it was an upper body injury. Back up, and hopefully he's going to be okay.
Yeah, the way he ran off looked like I'm thinking that he did get wind knocked out of him. He was down. The trainers kept him down, but then once he popped up, he ran off the field.
Yeah, he ran off pretty easily. So looks like Devin's going to be okay. He actually leads the team in rushing so far here in the first half with 41 yards. And now Laura Anury just trying to hold on for dear life there in the backfield.
I think Laura had some trouble. He was trying to throw the ball, but couldn't get a good grip on it. Like you said, being held up, and then until some help came defensively.
Marge Alexander was the one who got the sack there for the Tigers.
Yeah, lost him 4 big yards, so don't see it.
Lara handing off right here. St. Fleur trying to find some room, and he is shoved out of bounds right around the 35.
That 8 points has really fired up this O'Brien team.
And now English calls a timeout.
St. Fleur, good to see him back in the action. One of his few carries today, and then normally he would see the ball a lot more, but I think, well, combination of things. Harris is going so well, like you said, over 40 yards in this first half, and also the conditions sort of cut down your number of plays.
And it looks like that's going to do it for the first half here at O'Brien High School, as the Tigers lead the Boston English Blue Eagles 8-0 after a very good second quarter from Emmanuel Exelholm.
Now the 8-0, very impressive. Impressive fashion too. 99-yard drive, and like you said, Exelholm able to finish things off.
Yeah, Exelholm certainly with a very good first half, including that 60-yard run, and punched in that touchdown run. So we saw a little bit of his explosiveness. Then we saw him with a tough carry inside, right near the goal line. So we saw both the inside and outside runs from Exelholm.
Oh, and that's the kind of talent he is. He's definitely one of the best running backs in the city this year. No doubt about it. And I think that O'Brien is going to keep feeding him the entire second half. I mean, he had over 100 yards in the first half. No reason to stop what's going well.
without question, and certainly we'll probably see him a lot more in the second half, certainly on handoffs, because it's really just tough for these quarterbacks to throw the football right now.
And it's really a matter of just being safe, because the balls aren't going to get any drier. So, I mean, they're just going to get slipperier and slipperier, and it gets to a point where you don't want to pitch the ball at all. We've seen the difficulty that O'Brien's had trying to throw the ball deep downfield, even though they've had open receivers.
Right.
The wind took a couple of the balls, and then another throw is just off target. So it's pretty risky to do that, and you don't need to when you have the running game going so well.
Without question. So both these teams trying to work through this rain here at O'Brien High, and it is the Tigers who are on top of the English Blue Eagles 8-0. And folks, certainly here at halftime, we see all the work that the Boston Public Schools have to do to put these games on, both football and the fall sports. We got girls volleyball, soccer, a lot of stuff going on here in the city. And of course, it is all run by Avery Edsdale, the athletic director here for the Boston Public Schools. So we're going to take a look at a piece about Avery right now.
Number one is just a great leadership opportunity, opportunity to be involved with a great city that has a great history of athletics and also great history of just producing great people. But also is an opportunity to get involved with providing athletics on a level that I hadn't done before, at a level that I think hits a little deeper than what I was doing at the collegiate level, the ability to shape and mold some of these kids that are in the schools and give them opportunities not only to compete athletically, but to do some different things in life through athletics. When the opportunity with Boston came up, knowing where I had been and what I think the possibilities are here, it was a great step. Born in New Haven, Connecticut, so not a Massachusetts guy, but I'm a New Englander, so I understand that. Grew up in New Haven, went on to Wesleyan University in Middletown, Connecticut. From there, had a chance to work at Yale University back in New Haven, so I kept my roots in Connecticut for a while. New Haven is probably South Central Connecticut, so we're closer to New York than we are to Boston, and it's a bit conflicting. You have the opportunity to see the Jets, the Giants, the Patriots on any given Sunday, and I guess fortunately or unfortunately, I'm a Giants fan, and that would be my only allegiance. Everyone else, I go with the home team. But I am a Giants fan. I bleed Giants blue. My dad was a great New Haven, probably legend, in terms of basketball, and the notion was to follow in his footsteps. I ended up playing freshman basketball, but it was probably the point in my life when I realized you had to balance things. I struggled in the classroom in terms of balancing the athletic commitment and the academic commitment. And so I hit a crossroad where I had to make a decision and actually had to give up basketball at the high school level for about a year just to get myself straight. Ended up transferring out of school, went to another school in the city where I got myself back on track academically, and not that I was way off track, but just focused in terms of what I needed to do to take the next steps. Had the opportunity through athletics and academics to have just a well-rounded experience, an experience where I was able to appreciate the classroom, but also able to compete at a high athletic level. And that's when I think a lot of things started to go off, and you started to see that the combination of the two can work together and what the benefits are. And that you go on to Wesleyan and I played 4 years there and had a pretty good career and a chance to meet different people and stretch out academically and evolve in all these ways that I probably hadn't really thought of way back in 9th grade when I was, couldn't balance the two. The big thing that may be a difference is coming here, just the sheer number. When you're at a college program, you have one program. When we come here, we have 13 football teams, and we have 15, 16 basketball teams, soccer teams across the board. And how do you manage that and make sure that you're effectively dealing with all of them on a consistent basis and a steady basis, and that's hard, So that would probably be the biggest difference. While I was at Yale, we had, and even Wellesley, we had opportunities to take some steps that had never happened before. And when you do some things out on the athletic field, it's amazing how it carries across campus or through a community. So knowing how important BPS is and knowing the history of the city and the traditions and how proud people are of Boston, we have an opportunity through athletics to engage the community in some of the ways that happened at Yale when the men's basketball team won the Ivy League for the first time in how many years, and when I was at Wellesley when a softball team or a tennis team or our field hockey team went to I think the Elite Eight. So people start to take notice. All the goals will be set around, putting our coaches in a position where we can help them to develop professionally in terms of getting the experience or skills that they need to be the best coach that they can be. Looking at our facilities and things that are going on there and seeing where there are areas that we can make improvements or what can we do that helps to make things in the program better. But I think it starts with looking at the student athletes and seeing or knowing that at the end it's all about them. We don't have our jobs without them, and we need to maintain and look to help them grow as much as possible and put all our efforts towards that as a goal.
There you have it, Avery Esdale, the athletic director for the Boston Public Schools. And certainly when you have a guy who's coming from the college ranks for the most of his career, played college basketball, and then comes to the high school side, he's going to think of a lot of innovative ways to really help this athletic program reach new heights.
Not only that, he can give some very direct advice based on his experience.
Sure.
And he's a younger guy, so it's
sure.
It's probably easier to relate so much to some of the coaches and especially the high school athletes.
Without question, Avery doing a great job there at the athletic director spot for BPS. Let's take a look at the halftime stats from this ball game here at O'Brien High School. And first up, it's going to be Boston English.
Okay, you're saying English there. Harris with the 41 yards. He did run off after that bit of an injury laying on the field, so it looks like he'll be good for the second half. 9 yards for St. Fleur. He only had 2 carries receiving. He had that 1 reception for 6 yards for Williams, and then Lara is only 1 for 3 so far. Not much. We didn't expect much from the passing game for either team.
Well, let's take a look at O'Brien.
O'Brien, first line tells it all. Oklahoma. 11 carries, 105 yards, and the only touchdown of the game so far. Smith, actually, nice little seconds weapon there with 33 yards and 5 carries. He had 25 yards in that last drive alone, and Smith hasn't completed a pass yet with his 4 attempts.
So they have it for the stats for O'Brien. We just talked about how Emmanuel Exelholm is over the century mark for rushing yards. We're going to take a look at some of the highlights from Emmanuel there in the first half, and we see why they call him the slash player here for O'Brien. Does so many different things for this team.
He's amazing. I mean, right here, this is the 60-yarder right here, the one that set up the scoring drive. And we saw speed, we saw power, we saw shiftiness. This is the touchdown. He had a very nice lead block, and right before halftime, O'Brien has gotten an 8-0 lead.
Without question. Certainly that's big right now because scoring is at a premium here at O'Brien High with the weather conditions, with the rain and the wind. 1 touchdown could be the difference, or English could get a touchdown but might be denied a 2-point conversion, and that could be the game. We could have an 8-6 game.
All 3 of our games so far, 3 of the first games have been decided by missed 2-point conversions. Just like
that's right.
Yeah.
2-point conversions have been huge so far through the first part of the season here in BPS football. We're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have the second half here on Game of the Week from O'Brien High School in Roxbury right after these words. Don't go away.
Everywhere that we go, he makes people laugh and makes people smile, and I feel like I have that quality.
He's the one who always takes me fishing.
I watch golf with him.
I watch him cook, because when I grow up, I want to be a cook too.
We have the same faces like this.
Dad is the one, when you fall, that picks you up.
That unconditional sense of presence and reassurance is really what makes him my father.
Hey! Welcome back to O'Brien High School in Roxbury for our Game of the Week. The O'Brien Tigers lead the Boston English Blue Eagles 8-0. We're just about ready to start the third quarter. The Tigers will be kicking off to the Boston English Blue Eagles. And English has to put some kind of drive together here in the second half, trailing by just one score. But as we mentioned before, scoring's at a premium.
Right, they had some mild success with the running game with Harris and with Laura, actually. But the one time they got deep into O'Brien territory, the Tigers' defense actually threw Laura for a big loss and then forced English to punt the football.
So Smith with almost an onside kick here, and English has got to pounce on. The ball's loose, and it looks like the Tigers have got it at the 45.
Yeah. Yeah, talk about inexperience. You had your up guys who were pretty much all linemen, and it looked like none of them really wanted to jump on the ball. So English has to go back on defense, and O'Brien gets excellent field position to start this half at the 45-yard line of English. I don't know if O'Brien planned it the whole way or if they just saw the lineup and saw that English had no skilled guys anywhere near in their up formation.
Yeah, you wonder if English deferred to start off the game, so they wanted to.
Right, they
wanted the football, and you got to think O'Brien, with the weather conditions, with how tough it is to handle the ball, especially if it rolls on the turf wet turf a little bit.
Make it tougher for especially linemen to try to get it.
Yeah, the up backs there.
It's tough enough for the skill guys who are used to having the ball to get it.
Right.
So it's even tougher for players who don't touch the ball at all.
So the Tigers now with a first down at the English 45-yard line. And now it's Kobe Smith going deep down the right side of the field for Exelholm. And the ball is knocked away, but that's going to be pass interference on Boston English.
Right, the defender never looked back. Had close coverage, but never looked back. And actually ran into Exelholm. So it's going to be a 15-yard walk.
Pass interference, White, number 25. 25, right? It was 25, Chris? Yeah. Pass interference, 25 White, 15 yards to the previous spot, the automatic first down.
Kenny and Bell with the pass interference penalty for English, so that'll bump the Tigers up 15 yards up to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, you see in football a lot. You get a turnover or make a big play like that onside kick recovery and go right deep downfield to your best player.
So now on first down, again, the Tigers looking for some room. And again, it's Exelholm down the right sideline, making another nice cut. Emmanuel was drilled right around the 5-yard line, but another big play for the O'Brien Tigers.
No, he's been the whole show, I tell you. And it's amazing. I mean, obviously his line is giving him plenty of room, but he's doing a lot of this on his own. Once he gets past the line of scrimmage. Just an amazing runner, as you see Kevin Gadsden giving Smith, the quarterback, the instructions.
So another big play from Emmanuel Exelholm. A 60-yard run set up the first score of the game for the Tigers. Now another big run there from Emmanuel. Sets O'Brien up again inside the 10-yard line.
I tell you, the range not bothering him at all, is it?
No, it is not. 36-yard pickup for Exelholm. First and goal for the Tigers. Now it's Smith looking to take it in himself, and Smith is inside the 5 down to about the 4.
Of course, there was a fake handoff to Exelholm first to make English respond to that. And Smith was trying for an opening after that, but St. Fleur read it well.
Wind really picking up here at O'Brien High here in the third quarter. Second down and goal for Smith and the Tigers. He pitches it over the left side, and Exelholm shoots in for his second touchdown run of the game. Manny Exelholm
Yeah, one of the few times we've seen a wide pitch, but again, you get the ball to him as often and as many different ways as possible. Read it perfectly, had the option play. Quarterback had to just the defender come to him, pitch the ball as soon as there's an opening.
So with Exelholm, his 7th rushing touchdown on the season, puts the Tigers up 14-0 here early in the 3rd quarter, and now O'Brien looking to tack on the 2-point conversion again. And with these weather conditions, if the Tigers can get the 2-point conversion here, this could be huge.
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, just being up 2 scores.
Smith back to throw, looking over the middle. Pass was deflected as Kobe Smith was looking towards the middle of the end zone. It looked like Abukwe was the receiver.
Anthony Abaye has a good job defensively. But it's still big. I mean, you're down, 2. Ingles is down 2 scores now. Like I said, they've only had that one time that they were able to get deep into O'Brien territory. So they've, first things first, they got to be able to get possession of this kickoff. So we are going to see some of the skill guys coming up in the front line to try to prevent O'Brien from trying another onside kick. Now, coming into the game, we mentioned both teams are 2-1 overall, 2-0 in the Boston South. So a lot of meaning to this one. And there's Smith. Among the other duties he does, he's the punter, does kickoffs, and of course, quarterbacks the team.
And free safety on the defensive side.
Playing free safety,
yeah, we saw him have a nice interception last year in opening week 1 against the Brighton Bengals. I remember it being very warm and not raining. Yeah. It was very nice to be at a game here
the old
last
days,
September.
Right? Yeah.
So Smith with the kickoff, now fielded inside the 5-yard line. Here comes the Blue Eagles. And getting tripped up right around the 15. Looked like Warwood, and now Warwood's down.
Yeah, he went down in a really awkward position.
He's trying to fight his way to get up, but he's going to stay down.
Yes, he tried to. Yeah, he's taken off his feet. Was that Lamprey? Yeah, see, one of the Brighton players is down too. I'll tell you, it's even with the wet field, it's not slowing these guys down at all. I mean, if anything, they're looking like they're faster, because some of the coverage on these punts and kickoffs has been really high speed. So hopefully these kids will be okay.
So we have a man down for O'Brien. We had a penalty, illegal procedure penalty on O'Brien. So we'll see. I'm sure that the English will want to have them kick it again.
They can try to get a decent return.
But we're going to head to break again, folks, as they attend to Lambright, who's down on the field for the Tigers. We'll be right back. Continue our coverage of this one at O'Brien High.
Na 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 na, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
This new dad is picturing a tree house in the sky, but he's ignoring the instructions. Good luck, big guy. His kids know that he's building without a clue. Never been so good with nails and glue. Now we're trapped inside a box. I hope mom knows what to do. Mom! See, you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? You know you do. That's why we're here. We're free and here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Speaking of college, man, you and us go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos. Go to getschool.com.
Welcome back to O'Brien High School as the Tigers are hosting the Boston English Blue Eagles on a rain-soaked Friday evening here in Boston. The Tigers right now on top of the English Blue Eagles 14-0.
English decided to take the ball. I'm surprised. Well, I can't say I'm surprised. They've had some calamities on the kickoff. So
actually, after the illegal procedure penalty on the Tigers on the kickoff, English now with the football, bouncing it to the outside is Harris. Devin fighting his way forward up to the 25, make that the 26-yard line.
Good to see him bouncing back. Because you're right, that hit from Smith in the first half, close to right before halftime. Harris was on the turf for a while being attended to, but he's back and seems to be in 100% condition. English is going to need him if they're going to get back in this game. They're down 14-0. They've got to get something going offensively. Three receivers here to the left side.
And Laura is wrapped up in the backfield again.
Looked like a design quarterback draw, but again, the middle linebacker up there, 44. Yeah, they had that really. I think that's one of the plays that's, in terms of scouting. They knew that Lara, with his running ability, would try to fake them with a passing formation and try to get that quarterback draw going, but they were throwing for a couple of yards lost, so it was a 3rd and 7 now.
Third and 7 for the Blue Eagles.
Lara,
yeah, it's Lara on the fake. What a fake by Anari Lara as he picks up the first down and more, now trying to cut it back up the middle of the field. And he is brought down at the 42.
You know, I really got to wonder if he did that on his own because it was such a good fake. Okay, he was supposed to get the ball to Harris, but instead he went opposite side.
That might have even been a botched play.
He definitely made the most of it. Got the first down. And, you know, as a quarterback, you know he's frustrated. The rain's not allowing him to throw the ball. So you know he's really anxious.
Yeah, it feels like he's got the shackles on him.
He's really anxious to make some big plays.
Now on first down, low snap to Lara. He's again trying to escape. Picks up maybe 3.
I'm just thinking if the baseball coach was in one of these games, he'd probably be covering his eyes every time Lara runs the ball.
Put a blindfold on during the game.
I mean, he runs like a running back. He doesn't run as if he's a quarterback. He runs like a running back.
And Coach Conway mentioned, I keep telling him and Nuri to go out of bounds a little bit more. Stop trying to pick up extra yardage like that.
You know, a player like him, you know he's very, very competitive. You know, just his willingness to move from wide receiver to quarterback for the betterment of the team.
Now on second down, the handoff over the right side to Harris.
Got some room.
Harris picking up the first down and more. Devin Harris then driven out of bounds.
They caught
around the 45.
Yeah, they caught O'Brien in the blitz, and even though it was an inside handoff, plenty of room for Harris once he breaks the line of scrimmage. Like those little skip steps of his. Good blocking downfield, too.
The Tigers take a timeout.
That was a good job. Cyril Blair downfield for English to help Harris out.
Yeah, defensive coordinator Mike Branch and Coach Gadsden want to talk about things defensively for the Tigers.
I think Branch called that one because he did not like. Because usually when they blitz, what happens is they still have at least one linebacker in the middle of the field. That time, for whatever reason, I guess they all came, but it turned out that Harris was able to break the line of scrimmage and get there. That was an important first down, Pat, because if they had been faced with a 4th and long in their own territory, they may have been forced to punt the ball.
Right.
So, like you're saying, with the scoring really being held down because of the weather, this is a very important drive for English. I really think the English sideline probably feels we've got to get something out of this drive. We have to. because they're having a tough time stopping Exelholm defensively. So you've got to, if you can't stop your opponent offensively, you've got to match them with some scores of your own.
And also, you're probably late in the third quarter right now. You might even be getting close to the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
so if you give the ball back to O'Brien, they'll probably have it into the fourth. You still need 2 possessions.
Exactly. So all those things are playing a factor, and I think that may be why some of our younger fans.
They came dressed for the game. Did a nice job putting on the North Face.
Got to be somebody's relative, right? Yeah. But they're watching. I'm saying they're hanging in. You know, and I really think that's probably why we're seeing Lara run the ball more. Because I think he's feeling that sense of urgency in terms of trying to lead this team, get some offense.
Now the Blue Eagles have trips to the bottom of your screen. On first down, the handoff to Harris once again, and he picks up 3.
Well, I'll tell you that both offensive lines are getting plenty of chances just to tee off and do the run blocking. I mean, linemen always say they want to run block because it's the chance for them to be aggressive. That's the whole point. So, English, yeah.
Devin Harris now up to 60 yards on the ground here this evening. 2nd down and 7 now for the Blue Eagles here late in the third quarter. Now
Lara
it's Nuri Lara.
Yeah. Yep.
Picking up 3 himself, make that 4.
Yeah, I really think that we're going to see a large dose of Lara running the ball.
That was a 3-yard carry by Lara.
Exelholm is a ultra-aggressive player. Downfield, deep downfield, away from the ball. He was getting tangled up. There he is right there. He was getting tangled up with one of the English wide receivers. No flag, luckily, on either side. Big 3rd down play here.
3rd down and 3 now for the English Blue Eagles. They have to get to the 34 for a first. Here comes Lara. He's got the pass, but it slips out of the hands of Ray Williams and falls incomplete.
Well, that was right there. That might have just been wet hands, gloves, jersey, whatever.
Field, football.
That was right there.
Runny nose.
But it's got to be 4-down territory at this point. It's got to be for English. I mean, they're inside O'Brien territory, but
with the way that Woodward punted the football last time, do you think if they do pin him back, maybe try to create a turnover?
They got to keep the ball. You're right. They got to play defense no matter what, but they've got to try to keep the ball right now.
So here we go. 4th down and 3 now for English. Desperate need for a first down. Not going to happen here as the Tigers get a lot of penetration in the backfield.
Yeah, St. Fleur had no chance on that one. No chance whatsoever. Alexander came across in good shape.
So Amaj Alexander coming up with the tackle in the backfield to stop Boston English. Tigers take over right around the 41-yard line.
Also, Anthony Francis helped out. Well, that's a situation, Pat, where the English team has to really prevent themselves from feeling deflated because they had a decent drive going. But to get stopped on downs when you're just trying to get yourself back in the game, that really takes a toll on you emotionally.
First down from the O'Brien 41-yard line, and they roll the snap back, and now it's Exelholm picking it up, and he is wrapped up right around the 31, so a 10-yard loss for the Tigers.
One of the few times we've seen a mishap with the ball, Shaquille Warwood, very alert to get back there, number 17, right at your screen. Do you see him? He's able to wrap up Exelholm for a big loss. Well, a little bit of life for English. I mean, if they can now force a 3-and-out, force a punt, then losing the ball on downs won't be as devastating. That was a huge loss. It's like a second down and almost 20. Huh?
2nd and 20 for the Tigers. Bryant now with trips to the left, single receiver to the bottom of your screen. Smith looking over the middle. It was short. He was looking for a Bokwe.
Again, see, when you can't get that grip, matter of fact, Smith's going to take his glove off because he's upset.
Like,
at his
this
glove
isn't
now.
working.
Right.
Might as well just go barehanded.
Yeah, he definitely had that just slip. So it's 3, 3rd down and 20. This is actually a bigger play for English on defense, Pat. They've got to get the stop. I mean, they've been burned by 3 huge runs by Exelholm. So they've got to get a stop here. They've set it up with that big play on 1st down, 3rd and 20.
Smith again out of the shotgun. Now he's going to take it on the keeper. And he gets shoved out of bounds at the 35, so not a lot of room for Kobe Smith. Ramonte Williams shoving Smith out of bounds.
That's going to force a 4th down. This is what English needed. You see, watch 22 comes from the right of your screen. There he is to force him out of bounds. So that 1st down play was a killer on this drive for O'Brien. It's surprising, I tell you, as Wes has been out there with the wind now, we haven't really seen that much mishandling of the football. A couple of bad snaps here and there, but usually in this situation, you see a lot more of that.
Yeah, no turnover that's really made a huge difference in the game so far because of the weather. Smith gets a punt blocked, just as we expected. Here comes Harris. That's Woodward down the sideline.
What a play by
Boston English.
Warwood.
Boston English now with the football at the 4-yard line, just as we said. No crazy plays, and all of a sudden.
But the amazing thing about this, not only did he block the punt, in stride, picked it up, and tacked on a huge return. He got them inside the 5-yard line, the 4-yard line. So Warwood, talk about making a big play. They have it marked at the 4.
So they mark Warwood down at the 4. So 1st and goal from the 4-yard line for the English Blue Eagles.
This might be Lara time here. Well, Harris is going to play well, but it's...
And now the Tigers want to talk about things here defensively. I'm surprised it's still the 3rd quarter right now. I thought for sure that when O'Brien had the ball, we'd get into the 4th. You see Coach Lamb in the jacket and sweatshirt. Ryan Conway, braving the elements with shorts on.
Oh, I tell you, Coach Lamb definitely knows how important this drive is. And yeah, you're right. Wearing shorts. Well, it was a nice day.
It was 60 about 4 hours ago.
60, right? Exactly. But it is the last day of September, so.
And Coach Conway is a former lineman and line coach.
There you go.
Usually the offensive line coaches are a little off. A little off.
With the wardrobes anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, like we said, this is
exactly
the biggest,
what English needed.
This is the biggest part of the game for English.
You see Coach Conway. As we mentioned, 15 seasons as the assistant coach for East Boston, now getting his first chance at a head coaching position at Boston English. And Coach Conway mentioned at a certain point last season, or actually earlier in the summer, he was at a coaching clinic over at BC. And Coach Adazio, actually, you got a chance to talk to Adazio over at Boston College. And he said to Adazio, I have an opportunity to get a head coaching job. And Adazio said, those don't come around very often. You got to take it. You got to take a head coaching job. And Coach Conway said that, along with Tom Lamb, along with being an English alum,
all things
wanted the job.
Right. Yep.
So now his squad, Boston English, down by 14 here late in the 3rd quarter. About a minute and a half left to go. They're now on the 4-yard line. Here comes Lara. And he squeezes into the end zone for a touchdown.
No surprise with that. I mean, you get that close. You have a quarterback who can run that well. No need to even attempt any handoffs. I mean, even though Harris's player had a good game, there's Lara. See the good running ability. Don't forget, last couple of years, he was a wide receiver. So taking advantage of turnover. Oh, actually, let's give Woolwood the credit. I mean, he was able to get in there,
play.
Block the punt cleanly, and like I said, the most impressive part to me, he caught it on the run, tacked on a 19-yard return to set up the 1st and goal from the 4.
So now Boston English trying for the ever-important 2-point conversion. Blue Eagles trailing by 8 here late in the 3rd quarter. Just about a minute and a half left to go in the 3rd.
St. Fleur in motion.
They fake the St. Fleur. It's Lara up the middle. Did he get in?
No,
he did
not.
not. Very, very close, but Inuri Lara not able to punch it home for Boston English. So they do not get the 2-point conversion. They still trail by 8.
But the important thing is from the English sideline is they did get a score in the 3rd quarter. There's Lara trying to maneuver his way, but he got stood up right around the goal line and then pushed back.
So English still able to tack on that touchdown, get within 8. Absolutely had to have a score at that point in the ball game. Woodward comes up with the blocked punt, big play. Lara punches it in from the 4. So English now down by just a touchdown and a 2-pointer, and a little bit of life bred into that English sideline.
Because it was looking bad once they got stopped on downs. At about the 35-yard line of O'Brien. Is looking really dire, but that huge block punt. Now O'Brien's going to put some of their skill guys up front in case English wants to try an onside kick. It's a squib.
It's fielded right around the 25-yard line. That is Exelholm. That's not the guy that English wants carrying the football.
Oh, he's going to try reverse.
Manny Exelholm.
Wow.
Is wrapped up right around the 31. He was trying to find some space. But good coverage there from the Blue Eagles kickoff team.
Well, Exelholm was right in front. He was in the middle of that return coverage, so good job by English. They were able to, what's that, Williams again? Yeah, Raymonte Williams. So, again, defense time for English, offense for O'Brien. I think a heavy dose of Exelholm is what we're going to get here. We're under a minute to go in the 3rd quarter.
As we mentioned, both these teams coming in with a 2-1 mark overall, 2-0 in the Boston South. Now on 1st down for the Tigers, the handoff again to Exelholm. Emmanuel makes his way up to the 35-yard line.
It's interesting, Pat. English is now taking some chances defensively. On that play, they sent a blitz as Exelholm was able to get a short gain. So a short gain now, but English, like I said, we can look for them to do some more blitzing. They blitzed on that 1st down play.
So just a short pickup on 1st down, 2nd down, and 7 now for the Tigers. Smith looking to throw over the middle, had a receiver out of the hands of Uche Abokwe.
Right in the money, too. Smith put the glove back on. I guess he got angry at the glove for that one play. Put it back on. He put that was right there. I mean, that should have been caught. But again, everything's wet. It's just tough. I mean,
tough sled.
Once we got here, we knew that the passing game for both sides was going to be really difficult. I mean, Smith's a good quarterback. I don't think he has a completion all game.
I believe he's 0 for 7, possibly 0 for 8 here tonight. Smith now on the quarterback keeper, picks up the 1st down and more up to the 47.
Did a good job. That time he faked out Kelly, the defensive lineman, the defensive end, number 3. Watch number 3. So he's supposed to wait until the pitch is made, but instead he went for Exelholm and allowed the opening for Smith to get that first down.
What's up, cheerleaders? That's how we roll.
Kobe Smith now over 50 yards rushing, at 52 yards on the ground to be exact, for the O'Brien quarterback.
It's going to be the quarter. Yeah, the English sideline so upset with Kelly. They took him out of the game after that play. I mean, he was right there and had a chance to make a play, but instead allowed Smith to get inside and get the big first down.
We got a close one here at O'Brien as the Blue Eagles trail the Tigers 14-6. We'll be right back with the fourth quarter here on Game of the Week right after these words.
Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
We taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
Welcome back to O'Brien High School in Roxbury for Game of the Week. The O'Brien Tigers leading the Boston English Blue Eagles 14-6. Just about ready to start the third quarter. Folks, if you want to follow us on social media, you can definitely go to our Facebook page, search for Game of the Week, and like us on Facebook. We have a lot of videos, a lot of pictures, a lot of good stuff up there. You can also follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. If you want to tweet at us, make sure you use the hashtag BostonGOW. For the last 2 weeks, we've had games that have come down to the wire, and again, we have a game that's within one possession. That's right, 2 game winners the past couple of weeks. We've had teams score with not that much time left on the clock, and the other team come down the field and score for the game winner. So very close games the last 2 weeks. This one, certainly a different one with the rain, but again, just a one-possession ball game so far. Exelholm carries it up close to midfield. I think they're going to mark them just a hair short of the 50-yard line.
That score by English has really juiced up their defense. We saw it with O'Brien in the first half. Defense played much tougher once they scored, and here we're seeing the same thing with English. An English player down, a little shaken up. Oh, that's Ward. Looks like that's Warwood. Shaquille's had a good game, too. Yeah. Made the tackle, and then
Exelholm sort of fell on him as he made the tackle.
Going back to that third down play, again, I think it's one of those situations where the experience of a veteran quarterback, I mean, second-year quarterback, Smith for O'Brien, totally faked out the defensive end. What he did, he actually moved the ball out as if he was pitching it, but never made the pitch. But it faked the defensive lineman into going toward Exelholm, giving an open lane for Kobe Smith to make that first down. That was a third and long.
That's right.
Huge play.
Monster play.
Huge play.
So 2nd down and 7 now for the Tigers. Like you mentioned, with that big run, that brought the Tigers into the fourth quarter with possession of the football. And now it's Smith again. Similar play. Not quite the same result, but he gets up to the 45. So about a 5-yard pickup there on 2nd down for Smith.
Well, like you said, Pat, you mentioned C. Smith protecting the ball once the defense comes. Like you said earlier, once either of these teams gets a lead, they're going to grind, try to kill the clock. And remember, the clock's on the field. So you got all these running plays where the clock just keeps moving. We probably are not going to see O'Brien players running out of bounds because they don't want to stop the clock. They want to keep it going. They want to protect this 8-point lead.
And you mentioned the clock being kept on the field, too. That's really tough for the team trailing because all of a sudden the ref's going to say there's 3 minutes left. Now on third down, the handoff up the middle to Exelholm.
That's one of the few times the whole game, Pat, that they've actually stood him up near the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Manny got stopped for maybe a 1-yard pickup.
But this is 4-down territory. I mean, the way they've been running the football, so it's going to be a 4th and, well, that's only one. He made something out of nothing. I mean, give him credit. He definitely
Zeke Tejada in on the tackle.
Yeah, he definitely made something out of nothing on that one. So
definitely made 4th down a little easier.
Made it very easy, well, makeable anyway. I can't say easy, but makeable.
So Bryant with the football at the 44-yard line. They have to get to the 43. Smith will get there and more. Kobe Smith past the 35 up to the 33-yard line.
Stop and go. Good misdirection by Smith as he kept, there was a quarterback keeper the whole way. Kevin Gatson trusting his quarterback to make the right decision. And you see he's running out of a couple of arm tackles to get that important first down.
Tigers contain their possession of the football, trying to kill that clock. We're still early in the 4th quarter.
Well, they know there's 2 things they can accomplish. They can either kill the clock without scoring, or they can score, which would basically win the game for them.
Exelholm with the carry. You know he wants to score. Gets it inside the 25 down to the 22, so that'll be another first down for the Tigers.
Yeah, we haven't talked a lot about the offensive line for O'Brien. They have been stellar throughout the entire game. You see Exelholm, you're not going to get him with a non-tackle. Good to see Woolwood back in there, though.
You see Exelholm there. He got hit, or at least grabbed at one point, dragged the defender at least 5 or 6 yards.
That's the kind of leg strength he has. And he's not playing as if he's tiring at all. I mean, he's close to 150 yards, and he's, he's still fresh.
The handoff to Exelholm again. Here comes Emmanuel with another nice cut inside the 10, down to the 8-yard line.
He's having a monster game, and he's still over 10 yards a carry, 173 yards on 17 carries. That's amazing. And these conditions, I mean, it's funny. Some running backs, just for whatever reason, get better grip and traction when it's raining, and he's one of them.
Yeah, it's amazing how different running backs perform in different weather conditions. Some running backs really like it when it's cold out. The handoff to Exelholm this time, and he is wrapped up in the backfield.
St. Fleur.
Edner St. Fleur again making a stop.
He came on the blitz, and like I said, English, they have no choice. They've got to come on some blitzes. The EC number 7, good job, wrapped him up. That's all. That's what English is now forced to do, because they've got to help those guys up front. Well, more importantly, they've got to prevent the score. That's the job number one. No matter what, they've got to prevent this score if they're going to stay in this game.
You see head coach Kevin Gadsden, the play caller for this Tigers team.
I think at this point, it's just a matter of which player is going to blitz. But someone has to come for the English.
Now in second down, and Smith rolling to his right. Kobe Smith looking for the pylon. Does he get there? Yes, he does. Touchdown, Kobe Smith. Tigers with their 3rd touchdown of the night.
Smart play again by Smith, and unfortunately for English, Corey Kelly on that defensive end got caught inside again. Watch number 3. So he gets caught inside, allows Smith to get to the edge, and doesn't take him much to get inside in the end zone.
So Kobe Smith tacking on the touchdown. Tigers now on top 20-6. Looking for the 2-point conversion. handoff to a Bokwe, who plows in for the two-pointer. So O'Brien with a 16-point lead over Boston English.
No, like I said, it was O'Brien was going to try to accomplish one of two things, if not both. Either kill the clock by grinding it out or get a score to make it another two-possession game, and they did both. They killed some clock here in the fourth quarter. And with the leadership of Kobe Smith and his legs getting the touchdown, they now have this big 16-point lead.
So the Tigers looking to get their third win of the season, third in the Boston South. English in the same position, but now they really got a hole they have to dig out of. They're going to have to rip off some kind of big play offensively, which they really haven't been able to do. They've had some nice runs that have picked up 8, 10, maybe 12 yards, but no big 30, 40-yard run so far for the Blue Eagles.
Certainly, because usually that comes in the passing game. That's a difference. Lara usually is able to get downfield to a couple of his speedy receivers, but not happening today.
Again, back to receive for English. Looks like Warwood and St. Fleur, but it's a short kick. English is able to field it at the 39-yard line. Two players collided.
Well, they wanted to make sure to get the ball, but they didn't watch each other. As you had Rivera.
Looks like Kyle Kelly and Rivera.
Kyle Kelly, Corey Kelly's, he's still upset about that last touchdown play.
Jarrell Nova also there to receive the kick.
Kelly's going to hear a lot about that because his one job on that play is to keep everything inside of him. But he got sort of sucked into with the fake handoff. He got sort of drawn inside, allowing Smith to get to the outside and get to the pylon.
He's one player that we thought we would call a few times tonight. We just haven't heard much from Corey. Of course, with not a lot of passing, that's going to make a difference. Meanwhile, Harris picks up a couple here on first down.
English has to start thinking about going no huddle now. They can't afford to be losing time. I mean, each play gets called. You see Harris. He's had a decent game for English, and one of the only real weapons they've had on offense, along with the quarterback. But sort of a frustrating game, I think, more so. Because coming into this, it was sort of a toss-up as to which team would be more effective with the running game if, in fact, there was inclement weather.
Lara now looking over the middle, and he was looking for St. Fleur, but the ball falls incomplete once again.
Well, again, O'Brien is still pretty much covering everything defensively. I mean, even though English has primarily been running, the fact of the matter is the Tigers just playing, I guess, a step better because they got the run covered, they got the passing covered. Probably look for St. Fleur again. He's in the slot.
Now on 3rd down and 8. Oh, they dropped the football on the snap. And Laura is then wrapped up at the 38-yard line.
They actually had maximum protection on that play because they only had 2 receivers out in the pattern.
Boston English.
Yeah, the wheels falling off right now. I mean,
this will be it here.
If they don't plays defensively, and now on offense they can't get anything going. So they're going to punt. I mean, it's 4th and 12. Well, at least they're going to go in punt formation. Let's see if they actually kick it.
So back to kick is Warwood, and now English wants to call a timeout and talk about it. if you're Coach Conway, would you just go for it at this point in the game? I mean, I know it's a really tough uphill battle to climb, but
it is. I mean, it's one of those things. It's a hard decision, only because like you're saying, you want the chance to keep the ball, but at the same time, they've been stopped on downs. As a matter of fact, in the same position or similar position, and their offense, they're just not. This fourth quarter, other than the play on special teams,
right,
they just haven't got anything done.
And like you just said, you had to have a special teams play in order to get close to the end zone to score. So offensively, you haven't been able to pick up big plays. So maybe a special teams play now, or when O'Brien gets the ball back, they might bobble the football, and you might be able to pick it up.
Something could happen, and also in the back of their minds, I mean, you don't want to come into this matchup even and then get blown out. I mean, if O'Brien gets the ball at the English 35, I don't think there's any doubt they may score again. So
you see the rain continuing to just patter down.
Because I think the players obviously want to go for it. I mean, 4th and 12, but I think a lot of things are at play.
So it looks like
the two experienced players back for O'Brien. Quarterback Smith and Exelholm. Yeah.
So Warwood, another good punt from Warwood. And then Exelholm just lets it roll down to about the 12-yard line.
Well, for English defensively, blitz, and more blitz. I mean, that's all that they can do.
Yeah, you got to make something happen here.
Meanwhile, for O'Brien, safe handoffs. Exelholm, who's actually has a chance to get 200 yards rushing. If they keep feeding him, he'll have a very good chance of getting 200 yards.
That punt actually after the roll ended up being a 60-yard punt for Warwood. His punting has been one of the bright spots here tonight. He's done a real nice job.
Not sure if it's going to make much difference if English can't force a 3 and out, but you always look for things to build on. And I think coming into the game 2-0 in the South, both these teams, they both knew it was going to be a sort of a chess match because they are very similar. They both have good athletic quarterbacks. Both have a bunch of running backs who are decent, and both have good defenses. So, I mean, when you really look at the game so far, O'Brien's just played better. They've played better. They blocked better. Exelholm has been the X factor because he's just so dynamic. What would we say, 173 yards so far?
And we haven't even been able to see him really catch the football very much because of the weather. He's a dynamic receiver as well. And now on first down, here comes Obokwe, who we haven't seen run very much since the first quarter, but Uche with a real tough run makes his way up to the 30.
Got a flag on the play. Let's see what the call is.
Must have been away from the run.
No, it's a face mask, yeah.
It is a face mask, you're right.
Personal foul! Face mask on White! Yeah, to the end of the run, an automatic first down.
Frustrating play all around. I mean, you give up a big gain, and then they're going to be an attack on 15 yards.
So after the run and the penalty, 35-yard gain. So it was a 20-yard run for Obokwe and then a 15-yard face mask penalty. So Bryant will get the football at the 46-yard line.
You started out at your 12. One play later at the 46. A lot of frustration on the English sideline. But again, I mean, it's like for the younger players, it's definitely a learning experience.
Obokwe get with another tough run. Gets to the 41-yard line.
Like you said, Pat, coming into the game, he's used to getting some carries.
He's the between the tackles runner.
Right. It's just that Exelholm has been so good, you just had to keep running him.
Well, then you got your quarterback Kobe Smith who can also run with it. So you got three guys in the backfield there for the Tigers who can carry the football very well. Obokwe's also been out on a lot of pass patterns along with Exelholm.
But it all starts at the offensive line. And from the very first drive, the O'Brien offensive line pretty much grabbed control of the line of scrimmage.
Now on first down, they hand it off to Exelholm. Emmanuel looking for some space. He's dragged down at the 38. Make that the 37.
One of the few times he's had a short game. Usually he cuts this back up, but with that Warwood. Got some help on the play by Kyle Kelly.
Just got word from our sideline reporter Seth Orensky. 2.5 minutes left to go in this one.
Yeah, this one's
clock continues to wind down.
Yeah, this one was wrapped up when Smith got that third touchdown.
That was the icing on the cake for the Tigers.
That was the only chance the English had to try to get back in if they could have forced a stop.
The handoff to Exelholm, who bounces it to the outside. Emmanuel trying to stay in bounds. I think he does.
Just stay in bounds.
Right on the sticks as well for a first down.
You're talking about some experience.
And now
players.
we have a late flag. We have a late flag on the play. It's going to be in sportsmanlike conduct on O'Brien.
Probably some talking out there.
You know, both these two teams really wanted this game when they saw each other first and second there in the Boston South standings, both at 2-0 in the league, 2-1 overall.
If you look at how they got there, and we talked about it in the open,
both
ways. Had very frustrating losses. The losses were very frustrating in different ways, but both teams bounced back with 2 big wins. And now
number 2.
I don't know, you can't really call it a showdown game, but an early season important game because obviously the winner of this is in first place alone.
Well, the winner of this game, which will be O'Brien, this is going to sort of catapult them to a big-time, or at least a very solid lead in the Boston South. And they'll be in the driver's seat for playoff position as they continue to.
Oh, that's right. I mean, that's a good point because, and as far as they're concerned, like I said, I talked about it earlier, when they lost to Brighton. They lost by a score, by a touchdown, but they had the ball twice in the red zone and threw 2 interceptions. It's called that first and about 25 after the 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, we'll be first and 25 exactly from the 45-yard line after the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. The handoff up the middle to Obokwe again. He escapes the defense and then slips right around the 37-yard line.
Nice gain. See, all the runners for O'Brien doing a good job. They know their roles. He's able to pop out of the arm tackle. So if you look at what the two teams, like you said, Paz, it's like a catapult type win for O'Brien. Really solid. 3 in a row now, and solidly looking for toward the rest of the schedule. English have to sort of lick their wounds and go over some of the really bad mistakes they made.
Second down and 16 now is Obokwe. Still fighting for yardage, and he's wrapped up at the 33.
Yeah, this is his series, obviously. When you think about it, talking about mistakes by English, start the second half, squib onside kick by O'Brien that doesn't get covered, so you give up possession. When you're trying to bounce back from being down 8-0. A couple of bad plays defensively to allow O'Brien. Well, it's a combination. So, let's give O'Brien credit. Their quarterback Smith made 2 real heady plays.
That's right.
Beautiful fakes. That turned into big plays. One on a first down and then one on a touchdown. English, unfortunately, I guess in the end, they were more affected by the rain than O'Brien was because English, maybe English does depend on their passing game more than O'Brien does because O'Brien has this really extra special runner with Exelholm. English has good runners, but nobody at that level.
The explosive runner.
So I think that coming into it, I think I overlooked the fact that one of the teams is going to have a slight advantage by the passing game being nullified.
Right.
Yeah, that's what happened.
They fake it to Exelholm, and now it's Smith on the keeper. Staying in bounds, it's Kobe Smith, who then pulls up out of bounds right around the 13, make that the 12-yard line.
See, the bad thing about this, not bad, deceiving is, if here's Smith again, like you mentioned earlier, he's a good runner. I mean, you can say what you want, he's a good runner. Once he beats the defensive end, gets around, gets to the sideline. But what I was saying is, one of the deceiving things is going to be if O'Brien scores here, all right, it's going to end up, 28-6. You look in the paper in the morning, they blew out English.
And
but
it wasn't
in reality,
the case.
it wasn't like that. Yeah, it
was not the case.
Much closer game.
So now Kobe Smith, quarterback for the Tigers, over 100 yards. He's got 105 this evening on the ground. So Tigers now on first down. The handoff to Obokwe again up the middle. Meanwhile, Emmanuel Exelholm, he only needs 3 yards to hit the 200-yard mark.
I really don't think the O'Brien sideline is aware of that because I think Coach Gadsden would give Exelholm a chance to get over 200 yards if he was aware that he was so close. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Game's over.
So they're going to call it here at O'Brien High. The Tigers hang on to win 22-6 over the Boston English Blue Eagles. And the ground game for the Tigers really getting the job done as Emmanuel Exelholm just this close to getting 200 yards rushing on the night, 197 on the ground. Kobe Smith, the quarterback, over 100 yards here this evening. And Tigers really executed their rushing offense offensively. We didn't talk.
Talk about 1-2 punch.
That's a dangerous 1-2 punch. And Uche Obokwe, that grinding between the tackles runner, they really did a nice job on the ground tonight.
Well, that's what they want to do. You come into a game like this, it's obvious with the rain and the winds that your passing game just may be nullified, and it was. So Kevin Gadsden, like we said, 9-year coach. He knows he has these special running backs. He knows he has a running quarterback. So let me just mix up. First of all, get out the running game section of the playbook.
Right.
Okay, let's go as deep into that as we need to. Figure out how we can move that English defense around, create some openings, and that was the result. You're talking about two players, a quarterback and a running back, with 280 yards almost.
Yeah, almost 300 yards of offense. That's pretty amazing.
It is.
Phenomenal game for the Tigers as they beat the Boston South foe, the Boston English Blue Eagles here tonight, 22-6. We're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have the Game of the Week MVP and our game-winning coach right after these words. Don't go away, folks.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish. In your face, in your face.
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education. What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills. The smarts. Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
Here we go. We're going to go out there in the rain. You're going to get wet. All right, here we go. Go, okay, quick. Oh, yeah. Yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Okay, Simon, what do people wear?
Clothes.
That's right. So it's important to learn how to dress yourself. Here's how it's done. Shirt, underwear, pants, socks, shoes. Underwear, always first, name tag on the back. Then pants and shirt. Go ahead and put this on. Now with the shirt, you want to make sure the first button's right or you have to start all over again, okay? Socks left on left, right on right. Tying the shoes, we're going to take the laces, we're going to cross them over, we're going to turn around where the bunny goes down in the hole, pull it tight, and bunny ears. Got it?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Welcome back to O'Brien High School in Roxbury. At the conclusion of Game of the Week, the O'Brien Tigers take down the Boston English Blue Eagles 22-6. Fantastic game here over at O'Brien High. Certainly a tough game with the weather conditions, but a lot of fun to cover, a lot of fun players to watch. And let's take a look at our final stats from this ball game before we get the MVP and the game-winning coach. And first up for the final stats, it's going to be the Boston English Blue Eagles.
Yeah, for the Eagles, Harris had the best game, 62, 62 yards and 10 carries. Lara, the quarterback, who I actually thought we'd run it a little more. He ended up with 14 rushes for 29 yards. Receiving was virtually nothing. That one reception from the first half, actually, to Williams for 6 yards. And, of course, Lara just 1 for 5. Nothing much happening in the air at all for either team.
And there you see the O'Brien stats.
Those two up top, Exelholm and Smith, the quarterback, unbelievable. Between the two of them, look at that. 197 and 105, unreal. You just don't see those kind of lines much. And English is not a bad defensive team. They were making plays out there. That's what makes it more impressive for O'Brien. Smith didn't even complete a pass, but didn't need to. Didn't even need to throw any, for that matter. But that wraps the game up right there, 22-6.
And certainly a fun one here tonight, folks. Next week, we're going to be back over at White Stadium. Hopefully it won't be pouring buckets. October 7th, 7 p.m., Concord Carlisle Patriots coming to town to take on the Boston Latin Wolfpack over at White Stadium in Jamaica Plain. You can watch that game live on Boston City TV. That's Comcast Channel 24 and RCN Channel 13. And certainly we want to try to get the coach and the MVP, who I think you can imagine is Emmanuel Exelholm.
You saw those numbers, didn't you?
That's right. I mean, 197 yards on the ground.
In the rain.
In the rain. And one thing that I appreciated here tonight that was kind of subtle about both these quarterbacks is there were a lot of exchanges, there were a lot of fake handoffs, not a lot of fumbles. It's pretty amazing with this type of weather. Not a lot of fumbles.
That's a good point. We talked about it during the course of the game. From either team, I mean, their mistakes were obviously magnified because they were behind ever since the end of the first half when O'Brien got that 8-0 lead. But you're right. I mean, it was a cleanly played game, and I think it showed that they both came in 2-0 in the Boston South, and players pretty much understood how important this matchup was. But you look at the game and how it played out, O'Brien just played better. They got better line play up front. They were able to stop English when they had to. I think the key point in the game was in the third quarter, end of the third quarter, when English had a chance to a 4th and 3 get stopped. And
That's right.
then O'Brien turned that around and they were off and running to another touchdown drive. So for tonight, O'Brien's the better team. They're in first place by themselves.
That's
English now has to figure out, what can we do better? Well, obviously, they hope to get better weather because Lara, you can almost see the frustration in his body language. Can't throw the ball, can't get downfield, try to make plays on your own, but there's only so much you can do when an O'Brien team, who's already good defensively anyway,
That's right.
when they know all we got to focus on is the running game, they really controlled from the defensive side, and a very frustrated English team. I mean, their only score, think about that, their only score came because of Warwood's excellent special teams play.
I don't think they made it into the red zone besides that play.
Blocks a punt, gets it on the run, 19-yard return, sets up English for the 4-yard touchdown run by Lara. That's their only score. But like you said, by far the closest they came to scoring the game. And it's just frustrating because English knows they're a good team.
Right.
They know they can do more in different conditions. And then on the other side, give credit to O'Brien. They adjusted to the bad weather. They came in clearly with a definite plan. They tried. Smith tried to throw the ball.
He did. He had 7 attempts.
7 attempts. A couple of them right in the money, but I think after the last couple just slid off the receivers'
They were good
hands,
passes, but the receivers couldn't
there you
get
go. I think because that happened, I think Kevin Gatson, I know him well. Kevin said, we'll run until we're all done.
Until the cows come home.
So that was all they need to do.
Especially when you have Emmanuel Exelholm who you can hand the ball off to. You certainly don't want to do anything but run the football. That's what happened tonight. Emmanuel is our MVP. He and Coach Gadsden are down on the field with our sideline reporter, Seth Orensky. Seth, take it away.
Joined by O'Brien's MVP, Emmanuel Exelholm, and head coach Kevin Gadsden. Emmanuel, just under 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. You knew it was going to be difficult to catch balls today. Instead, you got a lot of handoffs. A 60-yard gain early on in that second quarter that really opened up the game. What did you see on that particular play?
Well, I seen like the holes open. I got to give it to the line because all week we've been getting on them about blocking and making sure that they open up the holes. Our line is really young, so we've been on their backs by opening the hole. So when I seen the hole, I was happy to be in there.
just over 200 yards. This is a matchup that's always very tight. Two teams that came in undefeated in the Boston South, maybe a little bit higher tensions than normal. What were you as a senior telling your line, telling some of the other guys on the team to try to get them pumped up?
Well, we were just telling everybody to fight. You know, all week our coach has been on our backs, telling us to keep on working. Nothing's going to come to us. So all week we've been working hard, and we've been just trying to pump everybody up to fight. And that's what we did.
Congratulations. A great job. Coach, I'll bring you in. Undefeated in the Boston South, the lone team to do so. What did you see that gives you confidence going forward after today's contest?
Well, we just want to keep working as a team and get better every week. That's what we teach. We got good coaches that teach the game the right way, and we just want to be physical and match anybody else's physicality.
Defensively, you guys were phenomenal today. The only points you gave up after that long blocked punt that really put them in a great position to score. How do you even step up further defensively? Another big-time performance. That's 2 weeks in a row.
Well, we have to keep working on both sides of the ball, and especially with special teams also, because we have a lot of young players. We have a few returning players, but we have a lot of young players, so they're going to make mistakes. We just got to help and compensate for some of those errors.
One last question, Coach. The onside kick to start the third quarter, what went into that thought process? Really seemed to pump you guys up for the entire second half.
Well, English always has great athletes, so when this kind of weather, we got young guys covering on the kick. We don't want to, get them the ball in their hands to get a kick return or something like that. So we figure we can put it on the ground, and that might, slow them down a little bit. But it was just lucky enough we were able to get the ball. But English is a great team and a program. They've beat us, I think, 3 years in a row. So we've been on the other side. So we just wanted to measure up and try to, get some revenge.
Thanks so much for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
Good luck going forward. The Tigers will head to Charlestown next week as they look to stay undefeated in the Boston South.
Thanks very much, Seth. Go dry off. Get yourself warm, Seth. It's a fantastic job tonight. Pretty interesting information there to start off the third quarter. They didn't want the ball in the hands of
They didn't want a long return.
or one of their best athletes to get a return.
Makes perfect sense.
That's one of the things that we mentioned. O'Brien's offense didn't have any real big plays, and that was really the difference in this game.
Yeah, well, and that's what happens. I mean, it's sort of a subdued Kevin Gatson. I mean, I've seen him. I've known him for years, and he's usually a little more animated than that. But
he's probably cold.
I think he's cold, but he also, he also, I think, understands that it was an important game, and I think sort of, in his mind, the back of his mind, he's thinking, my guys really responded.
They did.
And just like what Exelholm said. Exelholm was saying, we have a younger offensive line. You had to be on the guys to do their jobs. And like you said, Seth asked about the 60-yard run. That was maybe the play of the game.
Humongous
game. You think,
Right.
you ask about that, and Exelholm says, okay, the guys on that play gave me a huge opening, and I was able to take advantage of it. So I think O'Brien right now is in pretty good shape. I mean, Charlestown is having a tough season so far. So for O'Brien to go see them next week, they very well may be able to run off 4 in a row.
That's right. And they could go undefeated in the Boston South. They're certainly off to a good mark at 3-0 in the Boston South. Folks, if you want to watch this game again, you can certainly go to our website, www.cityofboston.gov/game of the week. All the games from this football season are up there. This one, the past 2 have been phenomenal, so make sure you check those out as well. You go to our Facebook page. That's Game of the Week at Facebook. We got links to the full game coverage. We also have different videos, plays of the game, interviews that you just saw are going to be up there. A lot of different information and pictures as well. You can also follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. And if you want to tweet at us, ask us a question, use the hashtag BostonGOW. Thank you so much to the Game of the Week crew. We got soaked cameramen right now that are going to need to take a hot shower when they get home, but they did a great job tonight. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you next time on Game of the Week. Take care, everybody.